Right, we'll get into it. Right, so first of all, welcome everyone to the Shortcuts webinar. My name is Jay Koufax. I'm the Shortcuts consultant in the Northwest and the North of England. So today we're going to talk about how to grow your very own A-team. So a little bit of housekeeping first of all. This is planned to last for around 20 minutes. We may be a little under, a little over, depending on questions. My microphone is on, we've established. You can hear me. Everyone else has been muted out. And as I say, until at least for a moment, your speakers do need to be turned on to hear the webinar. I will take questions throughout the webinar using the chat box that we're using at the moment. I'm happy at any time they will just pop up. Just give me a moment to get back to you. I'm happy to take any questions from you throughout. I would like to remind attendees that this webinar is not for support related inquiries. So if there is anything like that, feel free to send your questions to the email at the end. Alternatively, do the help desk call. Okay, so we'll just run through a quick overview for today. Very importantly, we're going to touch on these 5 points of building strong, positive working relationships with your team. Some training strategies. Now, some of these things you may already have in place, but we'll go through them. It might be a good refresher just to highlight things that you haven't done for a while or discuss some new ideas. Gauging current staff performance. Again, a lot of my clients do like to do this, some don't, but we can talk about ways that we can, how it can be displayed and what you do with that information. Setting achievable targets for the business, for yourselves and for the team members, and policies and procedures, for example, the end of day. So first of all, building positive, strong working relationships. There's a couple of questions that I do want to ask yourself. First one, are your staff motivated and eager to help around the business? Do they love coming up with fresh, creative ideas for the clients and for the business as well? Do they get along with everyone? Or are they causing problems? And if not, if we can't answer these questions, what can you do to fix it? And that's what we'll talk about today. So building a successful team. Someone did once say that coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress. Okay, but working together is ultimately success. So it is important to set some clear expectations. Now that might be a company vision or mission statement. There's a few things that can mean, but ideally it's setting specific goals and values for the salon. Now you should know these. Very importantly, all the stylists and beauty therapists should know what they are as well. Building a team culture. So building your tribe and your vibe and setting that within the salon. Communication. So that could be setting team meetings, one-on-ones, and discussing feedback. I feel it's really important that staff do feel comfortable discussing issues, whether they're areas of weakness or strengths, just so that they can consistently improve their performance. Achievements. So celebrating the wins, whether they're big or small. And it's a really big one for me. We all have different opinions on what's big, but it's important to acknowledge success no matter how small it may be. And power, so acknowledging individual strengths, as we touched on there in achievements, and giving ownerships and roles as well. So that could even be through rewards and promotions that we'll talk about later. Ultimately, more responsibility, and then team spirit, support and encouraging and rewarding. I'm a big believer in a strong team that won't let you down. Okay, so some ongoing training plans. Having an ongoing training program for all your staff helps learning within the salon, keeps everyone motivated and focusing on the future. I speak to a lot of stylists who express that they want to be more connected with the salon and with the industry as well. So to do that, we can work on a few skills, from technical, sort of like demonstrating, practicing routines, and that could be through cutting and coloring. Soft skills like customer service, observations, discussing, mentoring other team members, and managing people within the salon as well. And the all-important business skill, and this can range from managing money, setting expectations, measuring results, and coaching and results as well, discussing those results. Here's some of the training programs that I work for Shortcuts, what we work with, sorry. So one of them being Helen Ward Business Boot Camps. Now you may have heard of Helen. If you do want to hear a little bit more about what she does, head over to our website and click on the resources tab and then success stories. There's a really empowering video there that Helen's done for us. Steve Hilliard, coaching and consultancy. Client Wave Ultimate Reception course. I have a lot to say on this one. Won't go into too much depth, but I've done this one with Carol Taylor towards the back end of last year. Really great course, particularly for your receptionists. Talking about how to fill that white space and how to get the most out of your reception area. Jessica Crane, specialist in salon success, and of course the NHF competition events. We are heavily involved in those as well. Okay. Just before we do get too far into it, I just want to talk about something new that's starting next week at Shortcuts. It's our Shortcuts online classrooms. Okay, so we're really pleased and excited to announce that Shortcuts is now offering these free online training programs. So you can look at it in a couple of different ways, whether it's refreshing on how you use your appointment book, or sort of working on your set and forget crash course to make the most out of that. There are hour-long training sessions, and we'll help you out with 4 sessions on a fortnightly basis. So you join the training events for an in-depth review of Shortcuts features, and you can submit questions and interact with us more than ever. So a little bit more than we are doing today, really. You can ask many more questions. So how do they look, these sessions? We spread them out for you, and there's the dates and the times. There's some really big ones. Set and Forget Masterclass. You can get a lot out of your marketing. This is really a breakdown of how March looks for you. We will send you a copy of the presentation so you can register for them individually. Nicola Thompson, some of you may know, she's our educator that will be running the sessions in March. As I say, they are 1 hour long, so they're not too intensive, just enough to get a lot out of them. They're perfect for new starters, to take you through the ins and outs of Shortcuts as well if you have someone new that's joined recently. Okay, so the big question, how is your team performing? We touched on these before in technical skills, soft skills, business skills. We're going to go through each one in depth now. Okay, so the skills assessment. We want to set the standard. So every business should have their standard, and all the staff should be proud of it and adhere to it. You should be able to monitor whether they are meeting those expectations. Outline clear requirements to pass or develop a fresh learning plan. Keep records of achievement so that you can look back on those, and review and reassess. So this comes back to communication and one-on-ones. We should be looking back at those one-on-ones, making sure that we've hit the goals that we previously set and creating new goals for the next, whether it's quarter or for the next year. Customer feedback, another big one. I talk to my clients all the time about this. And the big one, as some of you may know, is ratings and reviews. So you should be collecting that from your guests. Spotlight, which is the Shortcuts feature for collecting ratings and reviews. It's great for getting honest feedback on your guest's experience. Okay, and so never forget to respond to your client's feedback, whether it's good or bad. Thank them for sharing their thoughts. And if it's bad, fix it. It's that simple. You know, it's a very positive outlook to have if a client sees it's a negative review, but you've actually gone out your way to respond to that client publicly or privately and actually corrected it, had them back in the salon. Ask the questions. You know, it's really key. Couple of facts for you here. A star rating is the #1 factor used by consumers to judge a business. I'm sure that really does hit home with some of you. And asking the questions, 88% of consumers trust reviews as much as personal recommendations. So for me, I operate very heavily on client recommendations. I'm sure you do as well. So it just goes to show that people are reading reviews and trusting them as much as a family or a friend referral. It's really important to get their thoughts. Okay, staff performance. So formal and informal one-on-ones. I'm sure lots of you do this already, but it's important to keep them up. I know they can be a bit of a pain sometimes, a bit stressful having to go through everyone, but it really does help. Hold weekly team meetings and always communicate with your team. I'm sure all of you do that as well. Use shortcuts reporting to track your team or individual results. And we're going to come to that in a few minutes. Have routes of succession. Plan to routes for progression, how they can move to the next level. And this leads into promotion opportunities. Is there anywhere for your employees to go? Do you have that next step for them? Be clear and consistent. No one wants to be let down or feel unsure where they stand, especially when it comes to their employment. At the end of the day, keeping them afloat sometimes. So be clear and consistent, and deliver what you promise. Always do that. And ask your team to discuss and share ideas. I've had clients in the past where they have employees that aren't very comfortable sharing their ideas verbally, so they might have sort of a little post box or something when their work can just be popped in. So it's a little more private, I guess, but it can be discussed at their own leisure. Okay, so the shortcuts reports I touched on a moment ago. Over 130 reports in shortcuts. So we'll touch on a couple of important ones today, but these are the key areas that we will concentrate on. So the value of future appointments. Can you afford that holiday in the summer? Booking statistics, taking comparisons, client retention report, which we will concentrate on, employee rankings, performance summaries, products and services by employee. So they're great looking colourful graphs that will help you sort of track. A lot of clients stick them on the wall just to keep an idea, a track of performance there. Rebooking breakdown. So do you know what your rebooking percentage is? Many of you probably don't. You'll be able to do that soon. Top selling products and services and the client card accuracy. So they're the two that we're going to concentrate on today. The client retention report and the trading summary. First of all, client retention. As you hopefully see there, you can get some really good figures from this, but it shows you most importantly the return percentage and number to the same employee and the return to a different employee or to the business in general, and anyone that hasn't returned at all. So you can see there the employee name, the total number of clients, how many of those clients have returned to the same employee and the percentage, how many have gone to another employee, the total retained, and the number of lost clients. It is really important that you not only understand the clients that you're retaining, but the ones that you lose out the bottom. Sometimes they say, there's a hole in the bucket and you'll lose a few. That's inevitable, but you need to keep a track on that and be aware of what that number is and where your business should sit. So identify if your latest retention is above or below the KPI that you set earlier in the year. So setting key performance indicators is very important so that you know where you should be. And you can take action when you fall below that if you do. If you're above it, great. Just keep improving. So how are your team performing now? Do you know that? The trading summary is a great report. It is one that all my clients run. This is one they will always go to, and it will give you, an overview of the takings for the day. The cash, credit card takings, the sales, for services and products, the quantity, and you can get that number inclusive and exclusive of tax. You can see at the top there. The net receipts, the ticket averages. So it's good to know how many tickets are actually service tickets or service and products. Are you upselling at the point of sale? And then your client numbers. So are your clients new? Are they walk-in? Are they returning clients? Are they male, female? Again, another really great way for you to understand where your client base is coming from and how do you market to them. And at the very bottom, we've got an employee sort of summary, a snapshot of the employees. So the products and services are selling, pound value, the total value, percentage total. So, in this case, you can see Paul there, 24%. He's bringing a quarter of the business for me. Really key employee there. And then the employee hours and the service sales per hour. So if you look at the top there, we've got someone that's £22 an hour. What we ideally recommend here is that your employees and the industry standard sets 3 times their wage per hour. So in simple terms, it's 1/3 for the employee You've got to pay their wages, 1/3 for the business. Some will say that's to keep the lights on, keep the electric running, and 1/3 for you as a business. I say you've got to be able to afford that holiday, so we do want the business to be taking a little bit as well. Recognition and reward. Personal favorite of mine. We all like to be rewarded. So you might want to set a couple of goals. Increase service revenue and reduce white space by upselling the client. So we're setting achievable targets. A couple of examples might be to set each staff member with the increase average takings by 10% per hour. Increase client retention by 10%. So what I mean by that is actually putting a stop to these lost clients. What can we do to stop that happening? Not everyone does need to be incentivized by money. It might be that you set in place some training, which will help their development, some experiences, photo shoots I've heard as well, trade shows, any other industry activity that you think the staff would like to be involved in. So for more on setting achievable targets, see our last webinar was done by Amy Douglas last month. It's called Setting Your Goals for 2018. Really good one. Similar to this, it's going to take you through some ideas. So using these reports, you can now set your staff achievable targets. So you can incentivize and reward, progression and promote, and make the team work for you. Another example is the Pro Beauty we talked about. I think trade shows and things like that. Pro Beauty is a nice one to go to, or Salon International, or maybe a small award ceremony. We love the Hair Journal Business Awards. We always go to every year. Okay, a bit more on recognition and reward. We touched on this before, to hold weekly team meetings and communicate every day with your team. It shouldn't be something they're unsure about. And have that communication strategy in place. As I said before, you might have an ideas box. Benefits. So pensions are actually now compulsory to contribute towards, but some salons I work with have chosen benefit packages, gym memberships, shopping vouchers, private healthcare. Some have even mentioned additional holiday as well to reward the loyalty to the business. Have routes of progression, promotion opportunities. So is there a manager spot available? Be consistent. No one wants to be let down. Again, especially when it comes to their employment. Now, while you're all on here, is there anyone that has an idea for a benefit that you'd like to share with anyone else? Something that you do? We're always looking to share great ideas with my clients and our existing clients. So if there's anyone has an idea in their head at the moment, let's give you a moment to pop it in the chat box that we can share with everyone else, but then we can share with our clients as well. That just means we all need to start thinking of some rewards, hey? We'll move on. Pop it in there if you think of another one. A glossy box subscription. Let's have a look. Okay, can you tell me a little more about that, Lisa? So that's the reward for people that don't have too many sick days by the looks of it. That's good. An idea, great one here. After a year's employment, staff get their birthday as a holiday. Yeah, that's a new one. I like that. And Sonia's mentioned their perk package. So a day out, you can have sort of a perk package involved in that as well. Awesome. Okay, so the glossy box subscription is mentioned there. Get it once a month. It's got 5 beauty products in it. So again, it's not something that's really a big cost of the business, more an investment in your employees. It doesn't cost you much to put it together, but it just makes them feel loved and makes them want to stick around, I guess. Thanks for those ideas, guys. Okay, so policies and procedures. And the way of managing some of this stuff we're talking about today is having the procedures in place. But to ensure you don't forget about it, you can have some quick reference guides for your team to follow. There's one there, a daily task one. It's more of a just highlighting what you do at the start of the day, throughout the day, the end of the day, to make sure everything's in place. We also have new employment inductions. So a new staff, first of all, send them to our ongoing training that we're doing, the online classrooms, but have them fill out the induction booklet so you know that they're set up correctly. Stock control handbook, marketing guide, manager's handbook, and a company handbook. Now, some of you might not be aware of these. They are available. We'll send you all the copies of those guides after the webinar. Okay, so the webinar summary, just to go through what we've been through today. Ongoing training programs. We've discussed how your team is currently performing and how you can record that, how you recognize and reward the employees within the business, how you build a positive team and how you keep it, and the importance of the policies and procedures within the business. Okay, again, don't forget the Shortcuts online classrooms. You can register at this address if you want to make a note of it now. shortcuts.co.uk/online-classes. They start next week, the 5th of March. Again, make a note of that, pop it in your diary, but head over to the website and sign up for these now. Again, they're not just for you, they're for the staff members, any new starters they're perfect for, or anyone you just thinks need a refresh. Okay, it's that important time where it can go a bit flat, but you guys are really interactive before. Let's have some questions. Feel free to pop them in the box. I'll do my best to answer them. Someone else has just popped an employee of the quarter as well for ideas for the rewards. So every month, you'll vote. And again, you can decide on what they get for that, but all the perks sound very nice. Any other questions about anything we've been through today? Let's give you a couple of minutes. First of all, yeah, we just mentioned there the employee quarter where you vote. It's just been mentioned again that the staff vote for each other. So depending on the size of the team, that can really work well. But it's actually people recognizing their colleagues and probably their friends that they work with are doing a good job. I like that. Yep, Sonia will send you a link to the slides from today, definitely. Again, with all the guides as well that we talked about a little while ago. Just got one more question coming in, guys. Won't be a moment. Wait for that one. Okay, so the sessions, the Shortcuts online classrooms, they're on a fortnightly basis. Again, we can pop back. There we go. Just as a reminder, take a picture if you like, but let's say go online to sign up for them. Okay, Lisa's just asked any advice on so staff targets for a commission as an incentive. Well, yeah, a lot of people do talk. I don't have specific figures for you there, Lisa, because it does depend on the size of the business of what you can incentivize with. But within Shortcuts, from tools and roster down the right-hand side of your menu, you have commission structures. So you can set up certain schedules. And that might be, just on services for, let's say, make it easier here at the moment. But from £0 to £1,000, you get 10% on services. From £1,001 to £1,500, you get 12% for services sold. You can do the same for retail. So you really set the commission goal and see how you go from there. But you can manage it now. There's a commission report to help you manage that as well. But definitely, if you have targets that you've set in place, and they will differ between the level of the stylist and the beauty therapist as well. It's all relative different high-end services to your basic beauty and things like that. But yeah, have a look at the commission structure. That'll give you an idea of the different tiers that you can set up. My advice is maybe start just small, give them a small incentive initially, see how it goes. And if you find that it is having a positive effect, yeah, just roll it out big time. Okay, the report to print employee performance. So that was, there's two. The one I've shown you today is the trading summary. So someone just asked online, was the report to print employee performance? Or what was the report? Sorry, it's the trading summary. We'll give you the brief summary down the bottom. The reason we have that in there is because it's part of the end of the day, and it does give you the service sales per hour, which is a great number to have. But also we offer a performance summary or an extended performance summary. The main one is your standard performance summary. On there, we'll give you a breakdown of the reporting categories that the stylists or beauty therapists have popped into. The services are popped into. So if they've done 10 colors, you can see that. If they've done 10 cuts, you can see that as well. And we'll give you a breakdown of what they're bringing in for the business in terms of dollar pound value. So that's the employee performance summary. Right, anything else at all? All pretty happy? Right, we'll touch over the 20 minutes, but it was good fun, guys. Just go all the way to the end and you can have the details you need. I say we'll send you the slides. There we go. There's my email address. Feel free to shoot me anything off. You know, you're going to have questions after probably. The number's there for the office. Give that a call. You'll get through to the right person. And there's the website. Sorry, Sonia's asked, can you access trading summary from home? Yes, you can if you have remote access. That might be a good one for the help desk. You can give them a call. Call this number in the help desk or the customer care team, and they'll be able to just assess what you have on your account there if you do have that access. I'm sure we can arrange that you can connect from home and run those reports. You can even print them from home as well. Yeah, good question. You certainly can. Right, guys, it's been a real pleasure. Hopefully